Hello, friends. Anybody there? I'm just stitching up a little bit of ruffle I'm going to put on one of my tags while I wait for our friends to join us. So your sound is working. I'm just not talking right now. It is 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I kind of have a little bit of everything out today. I ruched, oh, here are you guys. I ruched up a little bit of floral seam binding. So if you all are joining me, it would be wonderful if you could just give me a little signal in the chat so I know who's with us. I hope everything is working okay technically. Seems like it's okay here. Shaz, hey, how are you? Thanks for coming. Oh, it's been a long time, friend. I'm just making some tags using up my scraps while we wait for people to join us. That didn't go so well. I got that a little bit messy, but they're kind of for junk journals anyway, so we'll see. It's lovely to see you too. So glad you're here. We had about 6 or so last week, so I'm hoping I have a few more. They'll be glad to see you too. As glad as I am. Hey, you know what I'll do while I'm waiting? I'm going to recap on what we did last week. I have, we did transparent tags and dried flowers. So I'm going to get out my dried flowers. I dried some pansies. They're kind of falling all over the place here. So I can get them back on the paper. I'll move a little bit of this stuff. So it's a beautiful sunny afternoon here and not hot. It's just right. And I'm hoping some more people soon. I have my dried flowers. See, last week we did these transparent tags with botanicals. And I did one with these pink hydrangeas, and they were too light to see through them. Where's my candle? Here it is. So if I put it over a candle, you can kind of see. So I decided you were trying to work out the time. Aw, thank you. Oh, you guys move forward too, huh? I think they've decided to do away with it here. That's what I've heard, but I haven't like confirmed that. But thank you for working it out. I'm so happy you're here. Right now it's just the two of us, but that's okay with me. It's like you can come and have a cup of tea with me. I've got my fairy forest cup here. And the flowers that I dried, they were drying since last fall, and they keep their color, which I just think is so cool. And then I was taking stuff out of the dryer, and the dryer sheet got stuck to my leg, and I thought, do they still smell good? I might be able to use this for my transparent flower tags. So I'm going to try it with this. But last week I was just using cheap napkin paper and Mod Podging on top of it. So I'm going to do the same right now. I'm going to hope some of our other friends are able to join us. They're usually here by now. This is my third week doing it. I'm still quite the novice, but I'm not really trying to do much but visit and, hang out. Because, if we all lived closer, I think we would all try to work out a time to craft and chat together. It would be fun. So I'm going to put some Mod Podge on here, and I'm going to look at my dried flowers and see how well they show up. Let's see, I have, let me move it a little closer so you can see. I love the leaves. I love the shape that they dried to. Let's see. Do I have any more friends joining us? Shaz is here, you guys. It's so lovely to see her. We have missed you. Hey, Angie, thanks for coming. I'm just recapping on the transparent tags from last week while I wait for people to join us. If just Shaz and Angie came, I'd still feel like it was a party. I love that you're both with me. Two of my all-time favorite people, for sure. So thank you. Feel like you're my crafting girlfriends. Maybe not just even crafting, we're just definitely friends. Anybody else out there being shy? Don't be shy. I used to hate acknowledging when I was visiting on a live. I was always so self-conscious. I may still be that way, actually. So I wanted you to see that I had just decided to try this with a dryer sheet. But what I really want to do for the actual craft today is I'm just going to work with my scrap heap and make some tags, and that's why my sewing machine is out. So I have this, I'm sure I'm not the only one. Maybe, I don't know, you guys are so much more organized than me. After I make a journal or something, I end up with a bag of scraps from the things that I was using. And I get myself overwhelmed putting it all back bit by bit, so it all ends up in a bag. And I call it my scrap heap. And there's buttons and trim and paper and all kinds of embellishments in here, and I'm tired of these bags. So what I decided I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sit down one bag at a time. I've got like 3 of those, ashamed to say, but I'm gonna make tags, and then with anything that's left, don't tell the recycling police, but I'm just throwing it away. Because sometimes it just gets overwhelming and you just have way too much. I never would have thought that I was going to have way too much. When I first started, I thought, I had the most meager stash in the world. And then what's worse is you don't want to stop buying because someone introduces something new that you feel like you can't be without when it comes to crafting. Even though I really have been enjoying this dried flower process. So I'm going to move this out of the way so I can show you. Let's see. I'll try to show you on a plain piece of paper. I don't know where the other ladies are tonight, but Sundays sometimes get busy with family activities. Let's see. But I really just like, after last week, it was so much fun. I thought, I'm going to make sure this happens every week, no matter who can make it. And if only one or two can make it, you're just as important as 12 or 15 or however many people can come. So I've got the glue on here, and now I'm going to cover it over by just folding the dryer sheet over the top. This is me trying it with dryer sheets, thinking that maybe the smell will stay with it too, and that would make it even better in a journal. So it's like fabric-like, and we'll have a nice scent. Oh, happy Mother's Day. I didn't know it was Mother's Day there, and you're still able to join me. That's wonderful. I know Mother's Day can be bittersweet for people sometimes. Ours is in May. It's always, I think, the second Sunday in May. My mom's birthday was Wednesday, but this year it was a little harder for me. I didn't really want to acknowledge her birthday this year. Just depends, You never know how you grieve somebody until, the memories come. So this year we just kind of kept it low key. Normally I like post a picture of her and say happy birthday, but wasn't feeling that this year. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the glue, and once it dries, I'm sure it'll be a little more transparent. So I'll check on this afterwards and we'll see how it goes. So set that aside. Maybe it'll dry. If it doesn't dry, I'll use my heat gun. I like using that thing. It feels like my mild form of a power tool. I'm glad you guys liked the transparent flower tag idea. Now I'm gonna actually layer and embellish the tags. So I'm just gonna keep on chatting and crafting in case people get to watch this later. Maybe they can't join us live right now, but they'll watch it later. So I'll try to keep it as cohesive as possible. I want to do a little stitching and know how to do those waterfall tags. I really like those. I'm thinking I'm going to try to assemble one. And this is one of the transparent tags that I didn't put tissue paper over the top of yet. And I think I'm going to incorporate this somehow into my waterfall tag. And then here's the one with the hydrangeas that I dyed a little bit. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to, you guys, I'm fun. You probably laugh at me, but I talk to my sister like you guys are my friends next door. So when I tell her that Shaz and Ann, she's gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. And I'm gonna be like, and we were crafting. it's very special to me because, I don't know if it was because of being on lockdown with COVID. And then we moved back to North Carolina, South Carolina, and didn't really get reconnected with our church or anything. And so I don't really have that network of, friends to go do coffee with and stuff like I used to. I mean, I could make it happen, but I think I got a little comfortable just crafting and hanging out, and I'm never lonely or bored. I like to keep myself busy. But if I look forward to meeting up with you guys once a week, it really does fill that kind of need to socialize and feel like you had a little girlfriend time. So it's really, really fun to craft, but it's really, really nice to have the company as well. Hello, Miss Joanne. I'm so glad you could join us. We're all here again, um, and you all are just so sweet to indulge me. If you feel like you have the space and the time to craft along with me, please do. Or just get yourself a cup of tea and visit with me. Um, I don't know where you are, Miss Joanne, in the U.S., what state you're in. I'm in South Carolina, but I'm right on the border of North Carolina. And I lived in North Carolina for several years, so I forget that I'm in South Carolina, and I will often say I'm in North Carolina, but that's just because I forget, and literally I could walk to South Carolina. Oh, you're in Louisville? My aunt is in Louisville. My aunt Flossie, um, she has lived there my whole life, and she's up in age now, though. She's close to 90. And then my niece lives in Louisville as well, and they have 3 children. So I'm familiar with Louisville. Let's see. So I want to do a little layering. Let me get back on track here because I get kind of chatty and then I forget what I was doing. But I have some tea dyed uh, card. Like a lot of you know, I love tea dyeing paper, and I love tea dyeing. I love tea dyeing pretty much anything. But I have some parchment paper that I printed on. And so what I want to do is make this tag kind of like a waterfall. I was watching, and I think her name is Pam. She's from the Paper Outpost. And she was doing this journal signature with all torn pieces of paper. I mean, she was just going at it, tearing the paper and making, she'd tear it, fold it, and then tear it in all different types of paper. And I think it was also her attempt at using up scraps. And so when I have the patience to go through my scraps and try to use them up, you can usually come up with some pretty fun things. But when I don't have any problem with just tossing it in the garbage. I just feel, maybe I should feel bad for saying that, but when you don't have a lot of space, you just can't hold on to scraps forever. So I'm gonna stitch this. Oh, there's a notification that just covered up my chat here. They would look lovely with them. Oh, you're right. Well, you're the queen of sentiments, Shaz. I love your cards, and you always do the really intricate die cuts. And I don't know, I guess the Cricut machine, I don't have that machine. One day maybe, but I feel like that would end up being another one of my vices if I get one. And oh, look, I did bring some sentiments here. Let's see. These are the ones I printed on parchment paper. One says friend, create, inspire. I think I'll use inspire. So what I'm going to do is just layer and layer and layer. Things that may or may not seem to make sense. And I'm going to mix media it. So I'm going to put some fabric and paper. Let me turn it this way. Make it easier for you guys to see, I hope. One day I will get a tripod. I think that would make all the difference because with all the videos I watch, most people set it up so that the tripod is kind of behind them. And I don't know if you can really see in the camera. Hey, Miss Jacqueline, thank you for coming. You guys, I feel so special when you take time out just to come visit with me. And I feel like I've got friends coming over. And if you were really here in the area, I would certainly welcome you over anytime. But since better virtual than never at all, that's what I say. So let's see, what kind of glue? I think I'll use my art glitter glue to lay this down. So I'm just going to back this little sentiment on, let me get my other dabber here. I'm going to back it on some cheesecloth. I love eyelash trim and cheesecloth. So let's put this. I'm just going to ink it a little bit to hopefully get it to stand out some. Yeah, you guys have been missing Shaz. She's had a lot on her plate, and so it is so wonderful to see her back. And those of you who may or may not know each other, but I think we all know each other, I'll always encourage you to subscribe to one another's channel, just because it's good to support everybody. So you're not going to be able to probably see that, but I got a little bit of cheesecloth under there, and it says inspire. And then the next layer, let's see, what's the next layer I want to do? I thought it would be fun to layer a little organza bag. And you guys, I'm going to stitch this on, but if you can see, you can see through it. Let me just do it really quick here. And I'm purposely using black thread just for the contrast. And I am no seamstress. I just know how to make the sewing machine go straight. But this was a very sweet gift from my husband for Mother's Day a few years ago. I had been using this broke down sewing machine, but it did what I needed it to do. It's just, you would often hear me beating it and pleading with it and asking it to do what I needed it to do. And I don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so I've got my parchment paper. I've got a little organza bag that I think would be really fun to throw a tea bag in. And then I've got my card. I'm not going to stitch it on yet because I'm thinking of maybe adding one or two more things. So this is a true example of somebody just winging it. I think for now I'm going to stop with this one because I'm already getting distracted with a new idea. Oh, you know what though? I think I will add a little bit of, do I want eyelash trim? So I have my little handy dandy basket here. So what's everybody crafting lately? Has anybody been making anything fun? Any ideas you can share with us? I don't know what I want to put on here. Let's see. I think I like this. This end of the eyelash trim. I don't want the orange. I'm sorry if anybody's an orange fan. I am not. Never really liked the color orange. It does work though with fall decor, so I do use it in that instance. I'm trying to decide what I want to add, what I might have in here. Oh, it's a little bit of cream color eyelash in here. That might work. Yeah, so today I'm calling this my scrap heap creative tags because I'm just pulling out of all my little areas of scrap. I don't know where I got these pieces of cardstock, but they came with these holes already on the top. So I'm going to fold it over as reinforcement. And then I'm going to string through some trim. Trying to decide if I should decorate this a little bit. And if so, with what? But for now, I'll just fold this over. Give it a squeeze. And I heard from a few people that said they were going to join me, but I have to say, I know how easy it is to forget if you don't remind yourself, because there were some lives I really enjoyed, and I'd, be looking forward to watching them, and then, I'm going to do it the other way. After the fact, go, oh man, I missed it. So if you're here and you're just watching, that's perfectly fine. I know how awkward it is sometimes to comment, even though I love your comments, and I hope you'll feel comfortable here and welcome to share your thoughts. Because I really want to keep everything very low-key and cozy, like we're just visiting. Ooh, I just accidentally stepped on the presser foot of my sewing machine. And you guys, I have never done this before. I heard people have done it before, but I literally stitched through my finger. I know. It didn't hurt because it was just the edge of my finger. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us about Glenn. He has been in my thoughts and prayers. You both have gone through a lot. And it's just so amazing to see the progress. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Just love how fuzzy and furry that is. Okay, and now I'm going to stitch this across the top. Okay, so let me stitch this across the top. And like I said, I'm using my zigzag stitch and black thread on purpose because I want the contrast. Oops. Got a little tangled. There we go. And I do have like a little decorative suitcase. And so when I make tags, I keep them in there. so that putting journals together isn't as challenging, because for a while, until I had a little bit of a stash, it was really so time consuming to make individual tags for every journal. And I still do, because some of them you just want them tailored to work with a specific theme. And then I get an idea, and oops, I'm going to try to retie this. And I have to start from scratch. Like, I'll look at the ones that I've pre-made and then decide that that's not exactly what I had in mind. So even though I'll have, this is crooked. If crooked bothers you, this is going to bother you. I'm sorry. Let me tear this off. Anyway, so this one would be a really fun one for secret messages, because you can lay it, and well, first of all, you can put little treasures in the bag. That was my goal. And then this one, you can journal underneath. And then I would probably just stitch it to open this way. No, I'd probably stitch it to open this way on the journal page. So this one isn't really much to write home about, but let's do another one. I think I'll get rid of my scraps here. I want to do one with these forget-me-nots. This is one of my favorite tissue papers. And this again is another one that I made out of scrap paper. Why did I say scrap paper? I meant to say that I made out of parchment paper. And I'm going to make this one on, thank you, Joanne. Thank you so much. I'm going to make this one on a glassine bag. So again, I just need my Mod Podge. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, and by the way, you guys, for like, sometimes I see live videos and people will comment, and then the person who's doing the live may or may not see their comment. They don't comment back. Well, I have such a cozy, lovely, small group of ladies right now that I'm pretty sure I won't miss any of your comments. But if I ever do, I hope you'll forgive me, because I would never deliberately overlook any of you. But I do notice that sometimes that happens. And since lives are so new to me, I'll never claim to be an expert at it. I just want to be here, same time, same station every week, in case anybody would like to join me. Because I'm finding that Sunday afternoons are becoming a really good time for me to craft. My husband works late on the weekends, and so I'm just kind of left to my own vices. And the worst thing I could do would be to craft for several hours in a row. And there's nothing bad about that. Okay, so I put my tissue paper, which is just a napkin that I copied onto parchment paper. Or maybe this is tissue paper. This is tracing paper. And what I do to do that, which you probably already know about it, but I just I lightly tack the tissue paper onto the copy paper, and then cut it to the exact same size, and I run it through my copier, and it copies beautifully. That's how I did this one. That's how I did this one. This was a digital that I just ran through the copier, but I did use tea-dyed parchment paper for this one. Okay, so for this one, I think I want to add, excuse me, I'm going to add a little bit of tea-dyed paper torn on here, just for the contrast of color. Let's see, what size does it need to be? Because I have another flower I want to put up. I love putting tags in journals that have a pocket. I just think it's fun to tuck little pieces of paper or little mini journals inside. Let's see here. I got the cutest little mini journal from Shaz in one of the challenge entries she sent me. It was the tiniest journal I've ever seen. It was so tiny that when I did the actual video, I missed it. So I had to come back and just say, oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. How you were able to use your fingers and be so nimble making those pages. Because you guys, I should have brought it. It was so tiny, but it had pockets inside on the teeny tiny pages. I would have gone blind trying to do that. So let's see. I want to add some tea-dyed paper. I don't know if I want to cover it though. Yeah, you remember that because it was really cute. Okay, yeah, I want to put it on this side. And not only am I going to put it on this side, I'm going to leave a little bit of a opening so it can be another pocket. I would stitch this one on, but I added too much glue and I don't think it'll dry enough. Okay. So I love tearing paper. I think Angie does too. I remember watching some of your videos, Angie, and you're like really enjoying the tear process. What is it about tearing? It just feels very therapeutic. So then I also have this really cute image of the mouse and the mushroom. So to pick up on the forget-me-nots here, I'm just going to quickly fussy cut him out. And put him on. And so like this is an example of scraps. I've had this little mushroom card forever. And I just kind of shuffle past it. But now I'm going to use it. Because it's kind of the use it or lose it mode today. Everything that I have here, I'm going to just pick and choose from it and then discard the rest because I have too much of this laying around. And even though I'm saying this is so cute, I'm not a big fan of mice. They're cute in nature. They're not cute if they happen to get in your house. Some people like to hear crunchy paper. They do. I think I'm one of them. But some people apparently don't, because I hear a lot of people say sorry for the crunching. You know how crafters will say that when they're crunching, making the crunching sound. So I know some sounds can be very grating on people's nerves. So again, I will reiterate, sorry for the crunching if that applies to any of you. But like I was saying, in our yard, when I was growing up, we had a big open field next to our house. And every year when the weather started getting cold, the mice would try to get in and would often get in. And so we'd have to get rid of the field mice that would run in to get away from the cold. We lived in a big old historic home that had lots of possible entry routes. And so they didn't have any trouble finding their way in. But my mother made sure they found their way out one way or another. Yeah, I'm so glad Angie's getting back to crafting. And you guys, I have to say, even if you don't have time, I mean, sometimes life just doesn't allow us to be able to do what we want to do. So I just watch your old videos. I really enjoy watching. Okay, so I've got, see if I can find it in my mayhem here. I have somewhere one of those faux pressed flowers. Maybe I put it, yeah, I put it in here. Let me show you. Oh, this one's falling apart. Here's one. So we have some more friends with us, I think. Anybody here that's comfortable and you want to jump on the chat and let us say hello to you. So I was telling you I found these faux flat flowers. I can't remember what these are called. Anyway, I think this guy's really pretty. I'm going to put it right here. I think I'll just use my glue stick. I know, nobody wants a mouse in the house. You can play outside as much as you want, but once you get in, it might be bad news. Because I will not live with outdoor critters in the house. Okay, so I have been born and raised in the Midwest, and we didn't have a lot of trouble with bugs or snakes, so I always had a garden. But when we moved here, I was terrified of the bugs. There are some bugs here that I have never seen in my life, and terrified of the snakes. So I never started a garden. But this year, for the first time, I'm going to do a container garden. And I know a lot of you are gardeners and like to see things grow. And I do too. I've just been chicken of running across a snake. And it's not to say I won't, just growing in containers, but I've been using it as an excuse to have fun collecting pretty containers because I don't want to grow in like plastic buckets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but aesthetically, I was thinking I'd go for like wicker containers. So I found like an old wicker toy box and a wicker trunk and things like that. And I've been watching lots of videos on how to grow in containers. So I'll keep you posted. I'm hoping it'll produce some wonderful vegetables. That's mostly what I'm growing. And then a few flowers. But I'm just chatty Kathy today, aren't I? Telling you everything. Okay, so this is a tag where I've got, I mean, it's nothing to, like I said, over the top creative, but just fun to use up scraps and use something that has just been sitting around in a bag without a real rhyme or reason to it. Oh, I have, just while I was waiting for all of you to come and join me, I ruched a piece of seam binding. Oh boy. I don't know where it went. Give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. Chat among yourselves. I'll see if I can find where it went. It probably dropped. Did it drop on the floor? Oh no, here it is. So here's another little fun piece of something. I'm not sure if it really works anywhere on here. Before I do that, though, I'm going to stitch around the edges of this. So I'm so grateful for those of you that were able to join me. I'm typically going to just try to stay on for about an hour because I don't want to use up too much time or assume that you don't have anything else you'd rather be doing. And sometimes I'll try to give you a heads up of what we're going to do each week so that maybe you can join in on the crafting. For this one, I'm again just stitching around the edges for contrast. And I wasn't too worried about the glue on this one. Isn't it fun how the stitching really makes it pop out? I love that. And then because this seam binding has some black already in it, I'm just going to put a little piece of it to keep with the mixed media theme. Do I want a little piece here and here? And I'm not going to stitch it. Just for the fun of it. And I think I'll put a little piece. Yeah, that's too much. Just, you know what would be fun here is a sentiment. Let's see, what do I have? Do I have a sentiment? It'd be nice if I had a stamp. Oh, this is pretty. Do you guys ever get in on G. Kerr's Friday freebie Fridays or Friday freebies? This is one of her Friday freebies. Isn't that pretty? It's got this like twill damask kind of envelope and then all of these to layer with. It sort of made me think of the colors I've pulled out on this one. I'm sorry, I'm just in here hunting for a sentiment. I guess I didn't gather up enough to have a sentiment on hand. There's more place here and see. I do have this stamp. It says postcard. No, I guess not. Oh, I'll just cut around this, so I won't use the pink roses. Bugs, mice, snakes, I do not like either. I know I'm careful saying that because there's some people that are just, you know, really. My brother was one that you know, it didn't matter what kind of creature it was. Then we had a mom that was wonderful in the sense that she let him bring all kinds of what I'm going to call crazy creatures into the house in an attempt to make them feel better or like he thought they were injured, or maybe they were actually injured, but like birds and get this, one time he brought a bat, which I was thinking bats carried disease and that wouldn't be a very good idea, but she let him. He would take it in the attic though. It couldn't be in, but upstairs he would be like the animal doctor. Birds and bats and snakes. He had a lizard. So I did grow up around creatures like that, but it wasn't my choice. He was the oldest, and he was a little headstrong. He was a little hard to say no to, but he was going to be a veterinarian, but he was allergic to everything. Anyway, not my favorite thing in the world. Bugs and snakes. I did used to catch frogs though. Okay, so there, I've got my little dream sentiment on there. I like that. I like wording. I think maybe that's why I was feeling like it needed a sentiment. But see, like all these little pieces here, there are people that will save all of this and know exactly what they're going to do with it later. This is a package of those faux dried flowers, by the way. But I just don't happen to have that gift. Everything that I try to save ends up um, just in a bag, making a cluttered mess. And clutter makes me feel a little paralyzed, like I can't really get anything else done with all of the clutter. So I have to forgive myself and toss it. So here's the crinkly sounding paper envelope tag. And then there's the little opening there that you could stick something else in. And these could be, you know, the sky is the limit for how much more you could add to these. Can have a little more of my tea. You guys, if you want to indulge me, I think I'm going to do one more. And I have my little tag templates here. I'll set this one aside with the other one and show them all to you one more time just before we go. Let's see, what should I do? I love this little piece of tissue paper. When I first started crafting, I would get gifts with this one. I haven't found this one again anywhere. Oh, thank you, Shaz. You're sweet. But I want to use that because that's, again, another one of those scraps that's just been hanging around. And then look at this really old seam binding. It's by the company Ofray, I think they call it. And it looks like it was at Walmart at one point for $1.36. You guys, do you do this? When I buy things from thrift stores or secondhand stores, I like to see what was the cheapest price at one point. $1.49. And then this was 50 cents somewhere. I don't even remember where I got it from. I'm trying to decide how I want to layer this one. Let's see. Oh, I have these pretty already created pink tags, which I think would layer nicely on top of one of the transparent ones. Yeah, let's do that. I think we'll do a 3-layer tag. Let me get one more piece of this card. Let's see. And this one and this one. That'll be pretty. I'll do that. So I'm going to So I don't remember when I first started watching crafting videos, but they just never get old to me. I only have a few that I watch. I'm subscribed to quite a few, but I have to say, those of you who put up videos and you're watching me right now, you are some of the ones that as soon as I see you put up a video, I'm on it. I'm like, yay, Angie has a video, or oh, Shaz is back, or oh, Miss Jacqueline, who is the most eclectic and I'll say electric crafter. I love seeing how you put things together. It's always so original. And I like when people are just comfortable and they do their own thing and don't feel like it has to measure up. It's what they love to make. I'm not a competitive person. Maybe that's why I just get on here at Wild Abandon, because I don't really think about what other people might possibly think. I just get on and craft because I love it. Okay, so I just put a little pink reinforcement there. Where's my glue stick, you guys? Jiminy Cricket. I can't believe I keep saying that. I was teaching my high schoolers once, and my language doesn't really go south, like I guess as south as some people would think it should. So one of the roughest, I don't have a lot of rough words, but this one day I was so frustrated with technology and trying to get everybody to get in on our Google Classroom. And I said, Jiminy Cricket. And the kids that were watching from home, I heard one of them say, did Mrs. Chambers just say Jiminy Cricket? And they just busted out laughing. And I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, yeah, sorry guys, that's about as rough as it gets. Not to say that I don't have my moments, because I do. But anyway, you'll hear me say Jiminy Cricket every now and again. I don't even know where I got that from. I love this tissue paper. And after I finish these tags, I'll probably go back and do one little coat of Mod Podge on top. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So I'm not sure. Let's see. And I want to add, I love to pattern mix. And sometimes it may or may not work. I'm going to just go ahead and do this anyway, because like I said, it's just a matter of using up scraps. I kind of like mixing plaid with floral sometimes. And I like this little thing too, where I'll sometimes wrap it around to the other side. I could have pulled out my washi tapes, but that's a whole nother vice where I just can't seem to stop collecting washi. Okay, I like that. What else? We'll put our Imagine sentiment on this one. And then I'm going to layer the other two, and then I'll be done. I bet you guys have to get up early. I forget that there's the time difference. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed visiting with me as much as I've enjoyed having you visit. It's quite special that you took time to join me. I very much appreciate it. All right, so that says Imagine. And then I'm going to put this one on top of this one. I might, if I can get this undone. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to get that undone, but I want to layer these. So I'm going to put this one on top of this one, and then this one on top of this one, and a real, well, maybe a little piece of lace. I think white lace would be better. Did I stick it in my treasure basket? I have some more of these, but I think the color will get drowned out. So I won't do that. It's always how it is at the very end, where I'm just about to wrap up and then I don't know what to do. Let's see. This guy. This guy. I know what I'll do. Because we're using up scraps. Oh, okay. Craft sale to attend. All right. Well, if you're going to need to leave, thank you. I understand. I'm just about to wrap it up here, folks. So I'm going to stick this pretty little rose on this tag and a little lace on the bottom here. I have a white spool of lace that I'm looking at, but I'm not going to open it because I keep telling myself the whole purpose of this was to use up scraps. So I'm going to stick on this little pretty piece of lace. And then I think I'll ink around the edge of this a little bit. And that'll be it. Do you guys have anything fun you'd like to do, like next week as far as crafting? I think there's so much we can learn from each other. And of course, tags is something you all know how to do already. I was just thinking it might be inspiration for everyone to kind of pull out their scraps and make use of them. But do leave me comments, even after this video has, after we're live, the video will still be up. And if you want to make comments below, feel free. I'm going to just go ahead and put my ribbon through. Even though the one tag already has a ribbon, it'll just be like extra fluffy with ribbon. So it's not very late here. It's still, well, it's late afternoon. It's just now 4:06. So I've got more of the evening ahead of me. But for those of you who may be thinking about bed, I hope you have a wonderful night. I love layering tags like this, you guys. So there's that. And then lastly, I will tie a ribbon around it for a bow. And it'll just have tons of tails on it. So I'm not sure what we'll do next week, but I'll do my best to be here same time, same station, just to visit with you and say hello and know that you have a crafting place with friends to welcome you. So I have this tag. Let me get my mayhem out of the way here. So this one, and this one. And the rest of this, we'll see how far I get with cleaning it all up. That way. So I'm going to plan on saying good night and thank you for joining me. Guess it's time to go. My tea is now cold. But here are the final results of my tags. This one is sort of vintagey, and the organza bag is stitched on to put little treasures in, flat little ephemera or whatever. And then secret little writing space there. And then I have the blue cornflower. That's what I was trying to think of. There's a space for the little hidden treasures to go in there. And then the pink one that's got the layers, and then one transparent tag. and then the collage tag. And you know, I could just put a little swipe of gesso on there and you could journal on there too. But that's this one. Thank you, Andy. Thanks for joining, everybody. I'm going to probably say good night or good afternoon. You're all very special to me, and I look forward to meeting with you, and I'll be back again, Lord willing, next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And whatever time it is, wherever you are, I wish you blessings, safety, happiness, and a great week. Good night, everybody.